The kwacha is bouncing back, Coco, but let's take a look at. Yes, it looks like from 28, 29, it's now at 26. Now, one United States dollar is buying at 26 kwacha 13 gray, selling at 26 kwacha 65 in gray. The Great British Pound is buying at 35 kwacha 19 in gray, selling at 35 kwacha 26 in gray. The Euro is buying at 29 kwacha 81 in gray, selling at 29 kwacha 87 in gray. One South African rand is buying at 1 kwacha 45 in Gwe, selling at 1 kwacha 45 in Gwe. Well, this looks so nice. Should it go down?
It should go downer.
It should go downer. More downer.
Go down.
Oh, well, let's take a look at what is happening on the business desk. What do we have there?
All right, the Finance and National Planning Minister, Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwane, has warned that there will be swift consequences to perpetrators involved in financial and supply mismanagement. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Finance says it has released 23.5 billion kwacha to finance public service delivery in April, of which 5.7 billion was spent on the debt service. In a statement released by the ministry, Dr. Msokotwane said government has instituted measures to ensure that laws governing management and public procurement were applied. The government of the Republic of Zambia remains committed to the implementation of sound economic policies that balance growth and fiscal responsibility. We are cognizant and of the tight fiscal space at a time when development needs our people remain constant. And in more stories, we see how the Food Reserve Agency Board Chairperson Shores Desai has disclosed that the country has received 180,000 metric tons out of the 195,000 which was supposed to be purchased by the government in Tanzania. Meanwhile, Desai says the agency will be announcing the maize floor price within the next 10 days. Speaking at a press briefing, Desai said 15,000 metric tons and denied by any mismanagement of resources from these maize or Tanzania-Zambia maize meal deal. I want to clarify on something that has played around and, well, misaligned people because real information was not available. This is in the maize or the Tanzanian maize, which the government has bought from Tanzania, 195,000 tons, and this maize is that the government purchased it and tasked us to see and manage it properly.
Still in local news, giving you this, it's a little bit married to a story that you've just read. Now, the Zambian National Farmers Union, ZNFU, has called on the Food Reserve Agency, FRA, to immediately announce the FRA floor price. Now, ZNFU President Jeva Zimba says the agency should also ensure that the price is cost-effective and valuable because the price model that fails to recognize the cost of production and profitability risks decongesting production. And well, in more stories, well, this could actually get our money market talking as well. Now, economist Luvinda Habazoka says the 335 million United States dollar restructuring debt Zambia has clinched with Exim Bank of India, that is the Export-Import Bank of India, is a step in the right direction. Now, Habazoka says the deal may encourage other major creditors such as the African Development Bank and the Development Bank of Southern Africa to engage more actively in concluding there on restructuring discussions with Zambia. Well, if Lubinda Habazoka would definitely see this as a step in the right direction, I trust Lubinda. I trust him. Nonetheless, in more stories as far as the international scene is looking like, what's there?
All right, as we are all expecting something,
yes,
obviously we've all been following this and we just want to see how far it has gone, because obviously we were all scared looking at the fact that if this had continued between America and China, it would have affected the whole world, right?
Trust me,
globally,
there would have been
a
trade
global
war
shutdown,
everywhere.
trade war everywhere. Now, in good news, US and China agreed to slash tariffs for 90 days. The US and China have agreed a deal that will significantly cut the import tariffs or taxes, both that have been imposed on one another for a 90-day period. The US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said on both countries they would lower their reciprocal tariffs by 115% for 90 days. The announcement came after the two countries had talks in Switzerland, and the first between the two countries since US Donald Trump had levied steps in the tariffs on Chinese imports. The huge tariffs caused turmoil in the financial market and sparked fears of a global recession. But now the president had imposed over a 145% tariff on Chinese imports, while Beijing responded with a 125% levy on the same U.S. goods. However, the U.S. tariffs on Chinese imports will now be cut to 30% for 90 days, while Chinese tariffs on the U.S. imports will be cut to 10% for the same time period. This pause will begin on the 14th of May, and the U.S. measures still include an extra component aimed at putting pressure on Beijing to do more to curb illegal trade in fentanyl, a powerful opioid drug.
Now, in some international news, you know how the American president should always travel in a very secure plane, right? Called the Air Force One. Now, as Donald Trump sets to embark on a major first trip as should we say first foreign trip to this particular nation, we're talking of the Qatar. Now, this is the news that is coming out of there. Now, the White House is in discussion with the royal family of Qatar to possibly receive a luxury jumbo jet intended for the use of Air Force One on presidential plane. Now, in a statement, Qatar denied that the plane would be a gift. All right, but said the transfer of an aircraft is temporarily used was under discussion between the two countries. Now, according to CBNS News and BBC News partner in America, the plane would be donated to Trump's presidential library at the end of his term. Now, the news comes as Trump set to visit Qatar this week. Now, that is how it looks like.
Can we
for
also
that
get
luxury.
like a Qatar luxury for our
What do you have?
presidential?
What do you have? You keep on fighting about that plane that you have. What do you have?
You did not.
What do you have?
You
I
did
need to
not
ask you
just
that
do
because you
that.
keep on fighting on that small plane that you have.
Imagine what more if
All
something
right.
as big as this comes about.
Here is America
Zambia.
saying, we're looking to have not this plane that we have. It should be more luxury because our president needs to travel in a luxurious space. Do we have the time to travel luxurious?
No.
Mr. President, do we have time to travel luxurious in Zambia? He will answer you, we need to spend money on other things. That is my president. Well, Business Snapshot couldn't sound more better than that, right? That's how we could package. This is The Grill. Coming away, we do have your press review where you'll be calling us and you'll be telling us what you heard in the press. Good afternoon for now.
The Business Snapshot on 88.5 Sun FM.